My name is Nyaradzai Gumbondrandra. I am the Chief Executive for Rosaria Memorial Trust and the African Union Goodwill Ambassador on Ending Child Marriage. Thank you for launching the campaign to end violence against children. For me today, I want to focus on a special kind of abuse for our children, which we are calling child marriage. There is nothing called child marriage under the law in Africa and internationally. A child cannot marry. A child under the age of 18 has no capacity to enter into marriage. What we are calling marriage is essentially child sexual exploitation, rape, abuse, abduction, and modern form of slavery. We must stand up, find the appropriate language that describes this abuse. By calling it marriage, we are normalizing, we are sanitizing, we are legalizing the same abuse that we are fighting. We know that child marriage is preventable. We know that child abuse is preventable. It is committed usually by adults. It is therefore a responsibility for us as adults to prevent. We can prevent by changing the values within our society, prioritize the girl child within our society, send her to school, provide her with information, speak out if she is at risk. Child marriage is critical concern for us on the continent. As the African Union launched the campaign to end child marriage in 2014, we see that Zambia is one of the countries that is at the forefront of fighting this child abuse that we have. We prioritize often the issues of legislation. The law is important. We should not justify this abuse by using customary or religious law. When the law says the age of marriage is 18, there should be no exception. That is what the Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child at the continental level states. And at the same time, we know that Zambia is committed to global instruments like the Convention on the Rights of the Child. It is very clear that the law is insufficient unless we are able to provide services to our children, unless within our communities our girls are able to go to school, to remain in school, they are able to access health care services, and they are able to have sexual and reproductive health information. They are able to negotiate relationships. But we also know that any abuse, especially child marriage, is an issue of justice. Anybody who rapes our girls must be prosecuted. We cannot justify and rationalize abuse and let perpetrators go. We need stiff sentences for us to be able to, for that to act as a deterrent against those who abuse our children. Yes, prevention is critical. The numbers are staggering. But equally important is for us to support our girls who unfortunately found themselves as teen mothers, found themselves experiencing teenage pregnancy, and found themselves in marriage. Our girls deserve a second chance. We must provide social and economic opportunities, and education is important. Re-entry policies for girls who have experienced child marriage are critical. We know that there are so many barriers that they face. In our work and in my work in Zimbabwe, through Rosaria Memorial Trust, we have realized that some of the barriers that girls experience when they want to go back to school is stigma. And at times it's attitudes. And so it's critical that we really prioritize having the appropriate policies, the appropriate environment, and the appropriate support for our children. Lastly, child marriage is usually argued on the basis of poverty, but Africa is not poor. Our governments must prioritize the available national resources to invest in its future, to invest in its people, to invest in its children. Therefore, as World Vision, as you launch this campaign to end violence against children, you have our full support. You have the support of the communities, because every parent, I believe that deep in their hearts, wants the best for their child. Let's stand up together as faith communities, as parents, as service providers, as public sector institutions, as private sector, as the media. Let's stand up together to prevent violence against children, to prevent child sexual exploitation, and to heal and rebuild the lives of our children. For every child is an image of the Creator. I thank you. Thank you for inviting me.